Yeah, hi there. These comments are for one of my students, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm taking a look at your essay right now. So, it looks like you have a lot of development in your ideas here. You got over 525 words, so let's see how it works. So your first sentence is a little bit wordy. You just need to say this. This is my recommendation here. Teachers should not be paid according to how much your students learn. Although each student studies in the same classroom, the same class, and the same subject, there's no need to use you in there. It's a little wordy. They are not the same. I don't even think you need this. You might say, in particular, each student's learning and knowledge is also different. In other words, some teachers suggest that somebody likes to study maybe to connect is put forth the effort. The most important thing is that teachers always put equal effort you might say in helping all of their students. So maybe be a little more formal here. Therefore, I think it would be unfair and discriminatory can probably say it this way. This is how I would say this. So therefore, I think it would be unfair and discriminatory if teachers are paid according to how much your students learn. Don't even need to say this. You need a topic sentence, something like that. So maybe as you bring up this idea, you may say something like this to connect the two sentences together. In this regard, some scholars have realized that everyone has different abilities of learning and different habits. For example, some students like math, some students like physics, and even some like PE. Consider Jake, who is an excellent student So Jake is an excellent student who likes literature and art extremely. You don't need to say that. So Jake is an excellent student who likes literature and art, but just got low points in mathematics and linear algebra. That's what I would say there to make it a little bit better. So do you think that it's fair if teachers are paid according to how Jake performs in his classes? No, teachers should not require that everyone have high points in the same subject. Maybe say in contrast, or maybe, how about moreover? Named Joe does not like studying, but his teachers require. And use subjunctive here. Show me you have some advanced grammar, so here's what you want to do. That you want to say that he, you can just say here that he get a high score on the next test or he will be punished. So moreover, another student named Joe does not like studying, but his teachers require that he get a high score on the next test or he will be punished. Now if you don't understand this grammar I'm using here, go to Google and type in the keywords using the subjunctive mood in English grammar so you can learn more about it. I would change this so how do you think Joe will perform on the next test? Maybe he will check, maybe cheat, maybe he will cheat. One word, not two, or maybe he won't like school forever. Thus, is unfair for teachers. You want to say it is unfair that teachers be paid according to how much your students learn. So now we have the beginning and the end of this paragraph is more tightly connected. Am I right? Now in this one, we're kind of going off the deep end at this point. So this paragraph is really, really tight here because first of all, it is unfair if teachers are paid according to how much your students learn. Then we explain that. Now if you say first of all here, then you should probably say second of all here. Now if you go to the second idea here, discriminatory, then you'll say teachers should not be paid according to how much their students learn, because it could cause discrimination among the students. See, what you don't really have a purpose for this paragraph. I don't know what you're trying to say here, really, to be honest with you. You have, it's your job to teach students knowledge. You're just stating a fact there. It's not clear what argument you're making. I don't see how this topic sentence here, I don't see how it connects back to the question. So, should teachers be paid according to how much your students learn? Your argument is no. You stated your argument very clearly here, but once you move to the next paragraph, it isn't exactly clear what further argument you're trying to bring into the conversation. So I think you need to work a little bit more on clarifying your topic sentence to state what the argument is. So if I change this here, and I'm not sure what you're trying to say here, so I'm just going to get rid of this. But your paragraph needs a clearer purpose. Your previous paragraph was unified. It fit together pretty well, but this one didn't. So then, in the next 5 or 6 lines of this paragraph, you have to show that when teachers are being paid according to how much the students learn, they're only going to focus on helping the ones who academically perform, and they may not help the ones who are not performing that well. They may discriminate and choose which students they want to educate or not educate. You see what I'm saying? So you really have to make that connection. You see, lastly, there are lots of other causes in this problem. Again, it isn't clear. It's not clear what you're trying to do here, so I don't understand what the purpose of this paragraph is. So you've kind of lost your way in this sense. So let's give you another idea here. So this will be our third paragraph. You might say this: so because it will lead to a lower, less practical form of education, teachers should not be paid according to how much the students learn. Now, because I put this point here, we have to go back to the thesis. You might say this: so it will be unfair, will be discriminatory, and will affect the quality of education if teachers are paid according to how much the students learn. So now we've connected things together. Okay, so now we have all our paragraphs set. We have our introduction here. We have our thesis here. Then I gave you some suggestions on how you can rearrange some of those topic sentences. You see these? And it looks like you have an idea, you know in your mind what you wanted to say, but you weren't able to put it all together in one coherent, unified essay, and especially you lost track when you got to paragraph 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so let's take a look at the end. So in conclusion, students, not teachers, should have the main responsibility for their studies. Then you might say something like this: of course, both students and teachers should try their best on improving students' study. Maybe say that. I also think just punishment cannot have excellent and outstanding achievements. Based on different abilities and different habits and teachers' hard work, I don't think teachers should be paid according to how much your students learn. Now, if this is indeed the focus of what you're doing, then it's easy for you to go back and rewrite your thesis, right? So now you can look at what you said in the conclusion here. You see these ideas here? You want to put these points right in the beginning. So then what you say in the introduction, and then when you refer to those ideas in the conclusion, you have a little bit better connection of ideas. Okay, so now let's take a look at how you will score on this essay. I think overall you had a lot of ideas in there. You needed to have a more focused thesis. You need to have better framed, more unified body paragraphs, beginning with stating explicit topic sentences with relevant supporting details. That's going to help you organize your writing a little more coherently. Still, it's not terrible, though. I think you had a lot of good ideas in there. I'm going to put you right here. I'm going to put you at 2.75 out of 5, or 18 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. Now, for our class, if you go into the syllabus, a 2.75, right? This is going to put you at 73% on this assignment.